Rain drummed against the window pane of Emily's bedroom like 1,000 impatient fingers. Outside, the streets of Brighton were slick with evening mist, streetlights flickering weakly against the gray. Inside, Emily sat cross-legged on her bed, eyes locked on her phone screen, the glow casting an eerie neon green hue across her face, matching the faded t-shirt she'd worn for 3 days straight. She was 20, too old to be sneaking around, too young to feel like she belonged anywhere. Her father had been gone 2 years. A sudden heart attack, quiet and cruel, and since then her mother, Sarah, had become a ghost in her own home. No tears. No talks. Just silence, wrapped in wool coats and late-night car keys. But last Thursday, Sarah had left at 6:17 p.m. and returned at 10:43. Not at work. Not visiting friends. Not even at the grocery store on the corner. The location pin had dropped near the Willow room. A quiet, unassuming building with no sign, no windows, just a single brass bell above the door. Emily had Googled it. Therapy. Counseling. Grief support. Her mother. The woman who never cried at funerals, who wiped her eyes with a tissue and said, "He's in a better place," before turning away, was seeing someone. And she hadn't told her. The betrayal wasn't in the secrecy. It was in the silence. The way Sarah moved through the house like a stranger in her own skin, as if Emily were just another thing to manage, like laundry, or bills, or the cat that refused to eat. That night, Emily downloaded a tracker app. A simple, silent thing. One tap. One permission. One lie. She didn't tell herself she was doing it to protect her mother. She told herself she was doing it to survive. For 7 days she watched. Thursday, same time. Same route. Same destination. Then last Thursday she followed. She wore her neon green t-shirt, the one with the frayed hem and the faded slogan, "I'm not lost, I'm exploring," and ripped blue jeans, her hood pulled low, her breath shallow. She hid behind a parked van as Sarah slipped inside, her navy coat swaying like a shadow. Emily waited. 2 hours. 3. When Sarah emerged, her eyes were red. Her lips were pressed tight. She didn't look up. Didn't wipe her face. Emily didn't speak to her that night. The next morning, over burnt toast and silence, Emily slid Sarah's phone across the kitchen table. Asterisk. Why didn't you tell me? Asterisk. Sarah didn't pick it up. Didn't flinch. Just looked at her daughter. Really looked, for the first time in months. Asterisk. Because I didn't want you to think you had to fix me. Asterisk. Emily's voice cracked. Asterisk. So you lie instead? Asterisk. She grabbed the phone. Walked out. She didn't mean to steal it. But she did. And she didn't know, not then, that Sarah had already seen the notification. That she'd been waiting. The house was too quiet. Sarah stood at the counter, pouring tea. Steam curled upward like a ghost rising. Emily walked in, phone in hand, head high, eyes sharp. The neon green t-shirt looked defiant against the muted tones of the kitchen. The beige walls, the wooden floor. The framed photo of her father on the mantel, smiling like he knew what was coming. Sarah didn't turn. Asterisk. You took my phone. Asterisk. Emily didn't answer. Asterisk. You tracked me. Asterisk. Still silence. Sarah set the mug down. Slowly. Deliberately. Then she walked to the hallway closet. Opened it. Pulled out the paddle. It was old, dark walnut, polished by time and use. The handle had a groove where her fingers always rested. The edge was smooth from years of contact. She hadn't used it since Emily was 14. Since the shoplifting incident, when Emily stole 200 pounds from her piggy bank to buy pills she didn't need. Sarah had held her then. Had wept. Had punished her. And then held her again. She hadn't taken it out since. Until now. Emily's breath caught. Asterisk. You're not serious. Asterisk. Sarah turned. Her eyes were dry. Her voice, lower than Emily had ever heard it. Asterisk, I am. Asterisk, she placed the paddle on the dining table, then walked upstairs. She returned 5 minutes later. In her hands, Emily's neon green t-shirt, folded neatly, as if it were something sacred. She placed it beside the paddle. Asterisk, you wear this every day. Like a shield. Like a banner. You think it makes you look brave. But today it won't protect you. Asterisk, Emily's throat tightened. I didn't do anything wrong. Sarah stepped closer. You broke into my privacy. You lied. You manipulated. You turned love into surveillance. She didn't raise her voice. But her voice was colder than the winter sea off Brighton Pier. Asterisk, bend over the chair. Jeans down. Now. Asterisk, Emily shook her head. No, Sarah didn't move. Didn't blink. Just said. Asterisk, I'll count to 3. Or I'll make you walk to your room, strip down, and do it yourself. And then I'll take the shirt off your back and hang it on the door like a warning. Asterisk, Emily froze. The threat wasn't about pain. It was about shame. And it worked. She walked to the chair. Saturday. Pulled her jeans down just enough. The neon green t-shirt stretched taut across her shoulders. The fabric, once bright with rebellion, now felt like a child's costume. Sarah stood behind her. Silence. Then the whisper of air. And the paddle lift. The first strike came with a sharp, hollow crack. Not loud, but deep. A vibration that traveled through Emily's bones. Her body jerked. A gasp escaped. 1. The second landed lower, just above the curve of her thigh. The denim strained. Her breath hitched. Tears welled. 2. The third struck with a weight that stole her voice. Her fingers dug into the chair's edge. Her head dropped. The neon green t-shirt shimmered under the kitchen light. Absurdly cheerful, impossibly out of place. 3. A sob broke free. Raw. Unfiltered. She bit her lip hard enough to taste copper. 4. Her shoulders trembled. She didn't cry out. Didn't beg. Just held on. To the chair. To the silence. To the memory of her father's voice. Asterisk, sometimes, love doesn't hug you. It holds you still. Asterisk 5. The final stroke landed with quiet finality. Sarah set the paddle down. The sound of it hitting the wood was softer than the rain outside. Emily didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't pull up her jeans. She just sat there, small, shaking, exposed. The neon green of her shirt glowing like a beacon of everything she'd lost. Trust, innocence, connection. Sarah didn't touch her. Didn't say anything. Just walked to the sink. Washed her hands. Then left the room. The door clicked shut. Emily didn't move for 10 minutes. When she finally stood, her thighs burned. Her cheeks were wet. Her heart felt hollowed out. She looked at the paddle. Then at the shirt. And for the first time, she didn't see rebellion. She saw a child who thought love meant control. And she hated herself. 2 hours later, Emily sat on the sofa, wrapped in a thick gray sweater. Her jeans were pulled up. Her hair hung damp from the shower. She hadn't cried since the punishment. But her eyes were red. Her voice, when it came, was barely a whisper. I'm sorry. Sarah stood in the doorway, holding 2 mugs of tea. Earl Grey. Just how? Emily liked it. She didn't sit. Didn't speak. Emily swallowed. I didn't track you because I wanted to know where you were. I tracked you because I was afraid you were leaving me. I thought, if I knew everything, I wouldn't feel so alone. She looked up. Really looked. I thought your silence meant you didn't need me. But you weren't avoiding me. You were trying to carry your grief so I wouldn't have to. A tear slipped down her cheek. I stole your privacy because I was scared. But you never broke. You just kept going. And I punished you for it. Sarah stepped forward. Sat beside her. Not too close. Just close enough. You don't get to fix me, she said softly. But you get to sit with me. Even when it's hard. Even when it hurts. Emily didn't respond. She just leaned into her mother's shoulder. The first time in 2 years. Sarah didn't hug her. Not yet. But she didn't pull away. That night, Emily sat alone in her room. The paddle sat on her desk. The neon green t-shirt lay folded on her bed. She picked up the paddle. Ran her fingers over its surface. It wasn't cruel. It was careful. Precise. Like a surgeon's scalpel. Meant to cut through lies, not skin. She opened her phone. Deleted the tracker app. Every trace. Every notification. Every location log. Then she opened notes. Typed. Mom. I wore this shirt because I thought it made me look brave. But I wasn't brave. I was afraid. I thought your silence meant you didn't need me. But you were just trying to carry your pain so I wouldn't have to. I'm sorry I didn't ask. I'm sorry I didn't trust you. I'm sorry I thought love meant control. I'm learning now, love means staying. Even when it's hard. Even when you're broken. Even when you don't ask for help. She didn't send it. She folded the note. Slid it into the pocket of her neon green t-shirt. The next Thursday, Emily walked to the Willow room. No hoodie. No phone. No these guys. She knocked. Sarah opened the door. Her eyes were red again. But this time she didn't look away. Emily held up the t-shirt. The same one, now faded, the slogan barely legible. I'm not here to track you, she said. I'm here to sit with you. Sarah didn't speak. She opened the door wider. Inside, the same photo from Emily's 8th birthday hung on the wall. Her grinning, arms wide, wearing the exact same neon green t-shirt, holding a crooked card that read, I love you MOM. Sarah walked to the photo, touched the glass. Then she turned to Emily and pulled her into a hug. Not a quick one. Not a polite one. A long, deep, trembling embrace. Like a mother holding her daughter for the first time in years. Outside, the rain had stopped. The sky was clearing. And for the first time in a long time, the house didn't feel empty. It felt like home.